This is Keith Fraser for Seconds Out. I'm here with Jim McDonnell, of course, trainer of IBF super middleweight champion James DEGALE, who's fighting on Saturday night in defense of his IBF super middleweight championship. Jim, I have to say, looking at the training in the ring just now, he looks in good shape, James.
Yeah, listen, as an old sound I remember from Marvin Hagler back in the day, and I've used it with James throughout his career, and that is, even when you're champion, you've got to prepare like a challenger. So that's the mentality. So you see James's coach works hard. He ain't undersold the opponent like a lot of other people are, but we're not. So he's only getting undersold. That's what people got to realise, because of the level James keeps boxing at. He's boxing Butte, 5-year world champion. He's boxing Darrell, who's one of the best fighters ever to have a pair of gloves on in that division, who ain't held a world title. He's boxing at that level against these Medinas, like with reputation as big punchers. So all these boxers, big name fighters in their backyards. So all of a sudden, because James has come back to the UK, all of a sudden he's boxing, again, another good guy, but not on their level. Everyone's like, what? But everyone else does it, and it's all right for him. Everyone else does it all the time. But so but I think if anyone deserves a round of applause for taking on the big names in their backyard, it's James DEGALE.
Definitely. And as I said to James just now, 2018 is potentially a massive year for him in his career. I'm going to ask you straight out, and of course, I want to try and bring you out of your emotional and your professional attachment to James DEGALE. Who is the best super middleweight in the world?
James DEGALE. One word, simple.
Without, well, it's 2 words, but but how far ahead would you say he is from his closest opponents? And who do you think his closest challengers are? Obviously, we've got the World Boxing Super Series. Callum Smith, James thinks is going to win that. You've got I think what could be a potential cracker with George Groves and Chris Eubank Jr. First of all, how do you see that going, and who do you see as the biggest test for James?
I think they're all big tests. I think they're all top fighters. I think they're all done the sport proud, and they're all doing themselves proud. They're all boxing at the highest level and giving the public what they want to see, the best against the best. So James, in my opinion, is the best. So he wants to go against whoever comes out to be the best. So whoever wins that tournament, that's a big fight with James DEGALE.
But would you like perhaps George Groves to win that tournament? Because that would set it up for a massive rematch, wouldn't it?
Yeah, George Groves is a tried, tested and proven and a WBA world champion. So, yeah, George Groves wins the tournament. Him and DEGALE, I think by public demand it would happen. I think it's a fight that you got the two best, so you're going the best against the best. So they've got history, and I'm sure everyone would tune in.
I said to James, obviously 2018 is a big year. In your opinion, if he beats the winner of the World Boxing Super Series at Super Middle, do you see his future perhaps at light heavyweight, where he could perhaps go in again with Badou Jack and settle that score? Yeah,
I mean, the thing with someone like James is to put the challenge to him, because he likes that challenge. He likes something that ticks a box, that motivates him. And when a good thing with James as well, when people say you can't, he always says I can. So that would be a challenge to get up a division and win a world light heavyweight title. He would have suppressed and done everything he needed to do at super middleweight, and it'd be great to go down as a 2-weight world champion. And I know he's more than capable of doing that if that ticks the box. And so I wouldn't be surprised if down the line that does happen.
Although there is some sentiment out there that he can't have too many fights like he did against Badou Jack, which was, let's face it, a bit of a war.
Well, I can give you a bit of a postscript on that. When James turned professional, I remember him saying to me on the running track one day, he said, Jim, I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait to be in a war. Like where you're just having it. You get dropped, you get up, and I swear to you. And you come back, I said, James, I've been in them fights. Trust me, they're great to watch, but not great to be in. But it's something that he's always wanted to do. Now he's ticked that box. I think you can see you've got James DEGALE, the boxer, back on board, because he realises with his ability, he don't need to take shots. But it was saying that it's like the fire, how close can I get my hand to the fire before it gets burnt? So in that fight, now he's done it, but he said, I actually enjoyed it, but when you get your hand burnt, you don't enjoy it, because if you put it there again, you get... So you'll see...
You've got the scars, right?
Yeah, you still got the scars. You'll see, that's all part of that learning curve, and them type of fights shorten your career, so you don't have too many of them. So James had one, and I think you'll see, from his next fight and the fight after, you'll see the class of James, the boxing skills of James, and be right back on his A game.
Well, before we wrap up, I just want to hear you lay it on the line. Obviously, assuming James wins, as he should do on Saturday night, 2018, who do you think is going to win in the Boxing Super Series? And give me a little peek into the future for the 2018 path of James DeGale.
I think the Super Six is an intriguing tournament. I think it's going to come down to a domestic fighter, when I say domestic, sorry, a British fighter. It's either going to be Callum Smith, George Groves, or Chris Eubank. Who's going to come on top out of them three? Groves is already a world champion, so I think you've got to make him favourite to win the tournament.
Right. So potentially we're looking at sometime next year the rematch, Groves against James. It's going to be very exciting, but I'm looking forward to it. I always say this to people and try and put them on the line, but really you can't look too far ahead. But I just wish you guys the best of luck for Saturday night 2018. I'm already getting excited. It's good to see you, Jim.
Appreciate it, mate. Top man. Yeah. Thanks, sir.
Thanks.
Cheers. Thank you.
Oh, mate. One of the best games I've ever watched at the Emirates.
Do you know what? I wasn't there on Saturday, and I had to go out.